The number of naturals going back to relaxer is rapidly increasing, and at least the people thinking about it is also rapidly increasing. Now, am I thinking about going back to relaxer? You're gonna have to wait to find out. Okay, so for the past few months, maybe even a couple years, I have been seeing so many more videos popping up on YouTube from popular YouTubers who were relaxed and then went natural and then went back to relaxed, like You Love Megs, and a whole bunch of other people online who have had natural hair for 8, 9, 10 years are going back to relaxed. And I have actually watched a bunch of these videos that have popped up. And every time I go and watch those videos, I go down and look into the comments, and there are so many comments from people who are like, I've been natural my whole life. It's time for that relaxer. I've been natural for 5 years. I've tried it. I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I'm going back to the relaxer. Literally hundreds of comments from women saying they're going back to the relaxer. There are so many reasons for this, so let's start with the first one. I think one of the biggest reasons why people are going back to the relaxer right now is because of the pandemic. A lot of people did not want to deal with their natural hair because, frankly, getting your hair washed and done by someone else is awesome when you find the right person. So a lot of people would just go to the hair salon, get your hair done, washed, braided, all these different things. And now we were left at home and we all had to deal with our own hair. And some people found they didn't like dealing with it as much, possibly even growing more, so it getting harder to manage, or dealing with lots of breakage and lots of other issues because maybe you didn't know how to take care of your hair yourself. The next reason is one of the most common reasons, and it makes sense because although a lot of us, including me, well, I don't say this, but a lot of naturals tend to say like, oh, once you get the hang of things, it's actually pretty easy to take care of your hair. You don't even need that much products. And that is true. It's just that most of us are product junkies. We just like buying products, but we actually don't need so many of them. You just need a really simple routine. But saying that it's actually really quick to do and it doesn't take that much longer than relaxed hair, we all know that's a lie. Relaxed hair is straight. You can literally detangle your entire head in 5 minutes or less. You can wash your hair in like 10 minutes or less. You can do your entire wash day routine in probably a maximum of 2 hours. With my hair, it probably takes like 4 to 6 hours. If my hair is in braids or twists, maybe I can get by with like a 40-minute wash day. So a lot of people have discovered, you know what, it's actually more manageable, and I love managing my hair much easier, more than I love having my natural curls, which is fine because in case you didn't know, it is your hair and you can do whatever you want to it. Speaking of all the bunch of videos I watched with a lot of people going back to natural and showing their relaxer process, a lot of comments in the comment section were from all these people being like, girl, you could just do like a press, go to the hair salon and get like a press and curl, just go and keep getting. And it's like, you could become a straight natural, but clearly this person has already made the decision to relax their hair. So don't go and start telling them to go back to natural. If they want to be relaxed, girl, let them be relaxed, okay? And this leads me into my next point. A lot of people who are going back to the relaxer right now have also been peer pressured into going natural in the first place, either because there was a whole natural hair movement on YouTube, or maybe a whole group of their friends in real life or family members started going off relaxers, or maybe never used relaxer in the first place and guilted them into feeling bad about putting harsh chemicals, because yes, they are harsh chemicals, but bleaching your hair is also a harsh chemical, okay? Going blonde is also harsh. So maybe you were peer pressured it into the first place and you hoped that eventually you would fall in love with the natural hair texture, the natural curl pattern that you have. And some people just prefer straight hair, and it's plain and simple. They may even absolutely love their curly hair texture, but they just love having relaxed hair more, which is perfectly fine. So those who are peer pressured into going natural in the first place, you guys are probably the first people to go back natural. And I'm here to tell you that while my hair is natural right now, I absolutely support your decision to go back to relaxed because, girl, again, you can do whatever you want because it's your hair. And in saying that, I think in the past maybe 2-3 years, a lot of people with natural hair and the natural hair gurus and the natural hair Nazis have also kind of calmed down, even though you do see comments here and there being like, oh, you should never put any chemicals in your hair, never go back to relax, this is causing cancer, this is doing this. I think it has died down much less, and people are starting to feel a little bit less judged. So even if they go back to natural, they know they might, even if they go back to relaxed, they know they might get a few comments here and there, but it won't be as bad because the movement has kind of died down a little bit. And so they feel a little bit more safe with going back to the relaxed hair and just being like, whatever, I don't care what you say. So now let's get into a little bit of advice, okay? Which you just, if you're thinking about relaxed or you're thinking about going to judge someone who's just relaxed their hair, okay, listen to a little bit of this advice. First up, do not impulsively relax your hair because over 60% of you will regret it. I am just telling you this. Just like people who impulsively cut their hair, an impulsive trim is fine because you're actually trimming off damaged hair. You do not want to impulsively do this, okay? Think about it. Give yourself enough time, whether it's a week, a month, even a year. Give yourself enough time to actually make the decision because you're going to end up back in the same place. Now, if you're someone who loves short hair, I feel like go for it because it's only going to take you a couple months to get back to that short hair. You can go ahead and relax it in a couple months or a year. You can shave off that relaxer, go back to natural, bleach your hair, shave it off. But if you're on a hair journey and you're trying to get longer hair, you really, really want to think about it because it will really set you back. If you do not care about length and you just want to play with your hair, girl, decide to relax your hair in the middle of the night and go ahead and do it. Next, what you want to do is you don't want to have a warped sense of what your hair is going to look like. So I would suggest you go back and look at old pictures of your hair. If your hair has been relaxed in the past, go back and look at all the pictures of your hair when it was relaxed and see if you actually liked it, or maybe you're just thinking of what it could be like. You're imagining in your head and you're like, my hair looks a little bit healthier right now. It looks a little bit thicker. I think it will look better relaxed. Still go back and look at those old pictures and see if you actually liked what your hair looked like when it was relaxed. If you like it, that will heavily influence your decision to go back to relax now, and you know you're still going to like it now. If you have never relaxed your hair before, go on YouTube, go on Instagram, go on TikTok, try and find people who have almost an exact match of your hair when it comes to both thickness, curl pattern, and texture, because you might find someone whose hair is as thick as yours with the same texture but a different curl pattern, or the same curl pattern but a different texture and the same thickness. All those different variables, because you might think your hair will look exactly like someone you're imagining it's going to look like, but then maybe they have like finer, silkier hair, so their hair is going to look different, or maybe they have way thicker and coarser hair than yours and you think it's going to turn out different. So find someone who's the closest match, and if you're lucky, find even 3 to 4 people, the closest match to your own hair, and then decide how you want to relax it, and also decide if you want to go all the way to like a fully bone straight relaxer or more of like a textured Texlax look. The next tip is, even if you used to relax your own hair in the past or you have relaxed other people's hair, even if you're a hairstylist, honestly, if you are considering going back to relaxed, please go to a professional, even just for the first time. If you want to be doing your touch-ups and like, you know, your 6 weeks to 10 weeks to 20 weeks, whatever, however long you want to stretch your relaxer, please go to a professional at least the first time. And one of the main reasons is, one, technique, second, time. Okay, you have to do it really fast to make sure that all your hair gets an even process, and when you're doing it yourself, you just really can't manage to do all that at once. Even if you were skilled, honestly, I just think for the first time you will really, really benefit from going to a professional. Even if it's a little expensive, it is a big decision, especially if you have long hair. If you have shorter hair and it's gonna take you like 5 minutes to do it, again, you can go ahead and do it. But if you have at least hair that's at least at your shoulders or even at your neck, and you want to continue growing it out and keep it as healthy as possible, you want to go to a professional, but not just any professional. Not all professionals do a good job. Having a cosmetic license doesn't make you a great hairdresser. There are so many hairdressers now with Instagrams and YouTubes and everything. Find a way, check their workouts, see what they've done to other people relaxing from completely natural, and see if they do a good job, and then go to those. Don't just say, well, she said pick a professional, so I'm just going to any random hair salon and ask them to relax your hair. You might not be happy with that either. This one is highly, it is so important, guys. The reason I'm saying this is because even when I used to relax my hair back in the day, I used to think like this. And even unlicensed hair professionals sometimes would even tell you to do this. If your hair is breaking a lot and you feel like maybe your hair is too coarse and too damaged and your ends are breaking and your hair is really damaged, and you think that the reason why your hair is so damaged is because you can't manage it, so you decide that you want to get a relaxer to help the damage, you will regret it. It's going to make your hair so much worse. Your hair is going to be so damaged, and that's why doing it impulsively also doesn't help, because you want to make sure that your hair is actually in tip-top condition. It is in great health. You might even want to maybe blow it out, cut off any dead ends. Give it a couple, maybe even 2 months to get your hair in amazing condition, nicely hydrated. Then it's going to take to the relaxer much better, and your hair is even going to look much healthier, fuller and thicker, and you'll be able to maintain and grow out your relaxed hair much better. If you do it on damaged hair, you're probably going to be one of those people who says, relaxer is so damaging and I can only grow my hair to anywhere past my shoulders if I'm natural, because relaxer is damaging my hair. No, girl, you already damaged it pre-relaxer, and post-relaxer now it's just even worse, because relaxer is a harsh chemical, so any damage you have, it's just gonna make it worse. Okay, now this is another piece of advice that I think would really help you, and this is, if you have a bad relationship with relaxers, and I don't mean that maybe you used a relaxer one time and it burnt you, unless like it really burnt your scalp and you're traumatized by it, but if you have a bad emotional relationship with your relaxer, I would suggest you don't do it. I would suggest you find alternative ways of straightening your hair that will at least make you feel a little bit better. Like a keratin treatment, a Brazilian straightening treatment, or maybe like a Japanese relaxer, which are, it basically does the same thing to your hair, but it's a different formulation and a way to go about it. I would suggest maybe you try that if you want to make your hair straight, but you don't specifically want to use a relaxer. It will just make you feel better about yourself. And if anyone trashes you for going back to a relaxer or making your hair straight again, you will feel less guilty than actually using a relaxer. That's just the truth of the matter. This next piece of advice is something I think you should actually think of first before you even go natural or think about going natural. Ask yourself why. And it doesn't have to be some deep rooted thing to be like, I hate my hair, I hate the way my hair looks like. No, it can be any reason. Just know why you want to do it, because if you don't know the reason why, it's gonna mess up everything and you'll probably be confused the whole time. You might want to go back to natural again. Just ask yourself the reason. If the reason is, I've had natural hair my whole life and I just want to look different, go for it. You might be thinking maybe, I just wanted to see what my natural hair looked like. I wanted to see if it's gonna grow any faster than my relaxed hair. Tried it, I'm over it, I want to relax it, that's also fine. But if the reason is, my favorite YouTuber is someone like You Love Megs, she went natural and now she's gone back to relaxer, so it's cool again, I think I'm going to do it again, you will probably regret it. So this all comes down back to relax your hair for you. Try and be not influenced as much by other people. Okay, so the last piece of advice is, you might get very excited when you relax your hair. And this is because if you've been natural the entire time, and maybe you've even been one of those naturals who's like, I will only use natural products, I will not use a sulfate, I will not use a silicone, I will not use anything that just irritate my hair, then you decide to go full on to the relaxer, you might get super excited and be like, you know what? Maybe let me also play with some color. Let me go red. Let me go blonde. Let me bleach my hair and then relax it, or relax it and then bleach it. Do not do it. If you want to bleach your hair, like go blonde, unfortunately, you have to pick one. Do you want to be relaxed or do you want to be bleached? That's because these are both two extremely harsh chemicals that just don't work great together. Again, if you have very short hair, there's a higher chance of you risking it because most of your hair is still like very fresh. It's just grown out of your scalp. It is extremely healthy if you take care of it, and probably at least go to a professional to try and do the relax and bleach, but still don't do it on the same day. You're gonna lose all your hair and cause some permanent damage. But if you want to dye your hair and you're thinking of playing with color and relaxing, I would suggest you at least go for a dark color, which means don't use anything that's going to strip color away from your hair. only use something that's going to deposit color onto your hair. So let's say a red that doesn't require pre-bleaching. You could go darker like a blue black, or just a jet black, or a really dark brown, something like that. You can play around with those kinds of colors, but still you should wait at least 2 weeks after you've done your relaxer to try something like that, because your hair might seem perfectly healthy and look amazing on the day when you do it, but maybe even 5-6 months down the line, you might notice that your hair just starts to deteriorate and it starts to break more than usual, and in the long run, you're going to experience excessive damage. Okay, now here's the big question. I'm sure a lot of you are asking, and maybe a lot of you clicked on this, and this is, am I considering going back to relaxed? Well, honestly, no. I'm not thinking of going back to relax. However, very far in the future, years from now, I cannot predict how I'm going to feel then. But from my predictions right now, here's what I think. I am on a hair journey. I personally love long hair, and I really like how it looks on me. I've experimented even with wigs, shorter ones, longer ones, but I've noticed that whenever I have like a short wig or even a short weave, when I used to wear weaves back in the day, I would get bored of it so quick. Like, I'm one of those people who's just meant for long hair. I absolutely love long hair. I do not mind the work that comes with it, because I'm a very patient girl when it comes to things that I want, okay? So I want really long hair, but not too long, okay? My goal is to have waist length hair, and once I reach waist length, I want to maintain it there. So if it was to grow like past my butt, I would continue to cut it, because I wouldn't want my hair to reach a point where I have nothing to do with it now. Like, it's just so long, and that's the only nice thing about it. Like, I want to be able to have fun with my hair. I want to be able to curl it. I want to be able to wave it. I want to have lots of fun with it. So in the future, I think I'm going to experiment more with possibly color. I highly doubt I'm going to bleach my hair, only because my hair has not reacted to bleach well in the past. But again, I've never bleached natural hair, so I don't know how my hair would take to it. I'll probably use heat more, because right now I only use heat like 1 to 3 times a year. And when I say heat, I mean like full on silk press. Blow dry, I might do it maybe 4 to 5 times a year. But when my hair is straight, I feel like even silk presses come out better when you train your hair more. Just like if you wear your hair in wash and goes more, your curls are going to start to become more defined, because your hair is used to being that way. It's the same thing with silk pressing your hair. If you straighten your hair more, it's going to keep coming out a little bit better. And I don't mean by heat damage, although that is sometimes an effect, but it's fine when you're maintaining, because you can just cut off the damage and then it'll grow back and you get back to your maintenance level. So I think I'm going to experiment a little bit more with heat. Maybe color, I'm not sure. It's not in my realm right now. Maybe when I get there. But I highly, highly doubt I'll ever go back to a relaxer. And there are many reasons for this. One, I have a bad relationship with relaxers emotionally. I feel like the last 2 years of my relaxed hair journey, even though I was Texlaxed, I would feel very like guilty, or I just didn't like the idea of putting a very harsh chemical on my hair and straightening the texture out. So I would not want to go back to it. If I decided to go straight, I would probably go the route of a keratin treatment, because keratin treatments are reversible. The only issue is sometimes they might leave you with a little bit of chemical or heat damage, but it doesn't ultimately destroy your curl pattern. If you go to a professional who does it well, maybe 5 to 6 months you have straight hair, and then it's going to slowly revert back to the way it was, and you might end up with a slightly damaged curl pattern. So you still have your curls, but it might be a little bit looser, and maybe I won't mind that at the time. The Japanese relaxers that I have seen, that I'm aware of, usually just look like a regular no lie or lie relaxer, even though the chemical is different. And honestly, back in the day, I never really liked how my relaxed hair looked. Like, I always felt like, oh, maybe the next time it's gonna come out a little better. Maybe the next time it will be a little better. And I just didn't like the way the relaxed hair looks. Even when I watch videos of people with relaxed hair, I usually love the process of watching the hair go from like super curly to bone straight. Like, it's just satisfying to watch. But when the hair is wet, I don't like it. And then when they just do the blow dry and silk press or whatever, the hair usually looks nice and flowy, but ultimately it's just too thin for me. Like, I like having a lot of like huge hair, and I think having natural hair is really versatile. So I love that. One day I could maybe do a blowout and do like a super voluminous flexi rod set or a super voluminous braid out, and then the next day I could silk press it and make it like bone straight and super silky and flowy. So I like variety. So that's the reason why I don't see myself going back to relax. If you could do like a temporary relaxer, like be relaxed for 4 months and then go back to natural hair, I would absolutely do that, because that would be fun. But permanently doing something like that to my hair and then possibly thinking, let me go back to natural and cut it, I will not play those games. So I highly, highly doubt it, but I'm not saying 100% I would not do it, because ask me 5 years from now, who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind. Now, whether you're considering going back to natural or you want to stay relaxed, one thing we all universally want is healthy hair. It doesn't have to be long, it just has to be extremely healthy, because a healthy hair always looks better, whether it is short, long, relaxed, bleached. Healthy hair always looks amazing no matter the curl pattern, and something that really promotes that is rosemary oil. So if you're interested, make sure you check out this video right here on how to make and how to use rosemary oil. Even if you buy it, this will really, really help with the health of your hair. So if that seemed interesting, make sure you watch that video and hit the subscription button right down there to subscribe if you didn't in the beginning. If you're wondering what I'm wearing on my lips, it will be listed in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.